All right, in continuation with our video, what I want to do is I want to start working on our navigation for our application. So the first thing I want to do here is I want to bring in Bootstrap. Let me go here to Bootstrap. Get started. And we're going to copy this CSS link here and open up our index.html. And under this meta tag, we're going to paste that right in there. All right. Another thing we're going to bring in is Font Awesome for our icons. So let's open up a new window here. Let's do the Font Awesome CDN. And CDN.js. Right here, we're going to click on the CSS tab and we're going to copy this URL. Let's paste this URL for the moment down here. We're going to be using it shortly. But for now, let me copy this link from Bootstrap and we're going to make a duplicate. Paste that right in there. We're going to remove this URL from there and replace it with our Font Awesome URL and place it right inside the quotes. All right, and let's remove this here. Don't need that. Save. No errors. All right. Let me close these windows. We don't need any more. Check our application. No errors in our console. Okay. All right. Another thing we're going to need is we're going to need to import, or we're going to have to install React Router DOM to help deal with the routing for our React application. So let's do npm install react-router-dom. Let me extend this a little more so we can see. And this might take some time. So in the meantime, what I want to do is let me open my package.json within my client. And if you look here under dependencies, you're going to see very surely that React Router DOM will be placed within here. Once the installation is complete, it's going to show up right here. So you'll see what I'm talking about. I just like to do this just to make sure that everything was properly installed. And you see, under dependencies, React Router DOM. Okay, so we have that. All right, save that file, make sure everything's good. We don't need that anymore. We can close index. We don't need that. Okay. All right, so let's see. All right, so now, and by the way, we don't need this app CSS, to be honest with you. Let me open that file up. All this stuff here, we don't need it. To be honest with you, I actually want to delete it. So let me delete the file. Delete, move to trash. All right, and under app.js, we have it imported here, but we don't need it anymore. So let's delete that. Save. Okay, now let's import. We're going to start using React Router DOM, and we're going to pull out browser router. Okay, import. We're going to destructure it, browser router from React Router DOM. Okay, browser router. If we look into, let's look at documentation. Let's see, browser router. Okay, let's see here, browser router. So browser router, a router that uses the HTML history API to keep your UI in sync with the URL. All right, so it helps us, it gives us the ability to to perform routing on the client side. All right, so we have that in there. So in order to use that, we have to wrap our whole application. Let me do browser router. We have to, and we don't need this tag here, this div tag here. So, but we're gonna wrap everything around this browser router. And within this browser router, the first thing I want to bring within it is a header component. The header component, which we haven't created, but we will shortly, is going to have our nav. It's going to have our nav bar. So let's create this component right inside the components directory, and we're going to call it header.js. Okay. And within app.js, we have to import it in order to use it. So we're going to do import header from current directory and header. Okay, all right. So we imported it and it's inside our browser router. So now let's go ahead inside our header component, and we're going to do import React from React, and let's create our functional component, const header, and we had to export it in order to use it elsewhere. Export default header. Okay. Now within here, what I want to do is let me expand this here. Okay, actually, let me, instead of parentheses, I'm gonna turn this into brackets. I'm going to create a views. This is gonna be below this. We're gonna have all our views, and the first one we're gonna create is our navigation. Now I'm gonna call this show navigation. Navigation is gonna be a function, and within the parentheses, I am going to get some help from Bootstrap. Let's look into the documentation. Bootstrap. Where are we at? Okay, documentation. Let's look under, let's see, was it layout or is it content? Components. There we go. Okay, under components, look for navbar. And under responsive, because I want a responsive navbar. There's a section for responsive navbars. There we go. Responsive behaviors. Okay, so the one I want to get is with brand name shown on the left. Yes, I want to get this one right here with the, so when the device size of that, when the device gets smaller, we're gonna have our hamburger menu, and I want the brand name or the logo to show up on the left hand side. So I'm going to choose this one here. As a matter of fact, let me show you what I mean. Okay, let me open up the console here, and okay, so look at what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the one I'm looking at. So right now, this is how it's going to look on large devices like tablet and desktop. But if I shrink it, you see, did you see, the nav bar collapses, and then we have a hamburger menu, and the nav bar, or in this case, this is going to be the logo, it's going to be on the left hand side, and the hamburger menu is going to be functional like this. Okay, and that's the one I want. All right, so let me close that back up. I don't need this console. Yeah, I don't need this anymore. Where are we at? Okay, this is the one I want. So I'm going to copy this right here, copy it to my clipboard, go back into my header.js, and I'm going to paste it inside. paste it inside the function. Okay, let me fix up some of this formatting. JSX doesn't allow us to use class. We have to change the name to class name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all these classes here. I'm going to do a Command D on a Mac so I can go through all these classes here and change them all together to class name. So class and then name. Okay, save that. Okay, we're still getting some errors. Okay, expect a corresponding JSX closing tag for input. For JSX, for this input right here, we have to close it with a / like that. Okay. All right now we have just little warnings. Then this is saying that there's some variables that we haven't used, but that's nothing. Let's see, what else do we need to do here? We're not for React, we need to use links, right? We don't use any A tags, but before we can even use the link tag, we have to bring it in. We have to import it. So this is also part of the React router DOM. So we're going to destructure it. Destructure link from React router DOM, just like that. So now we have access to it. We can use it. So here we don't need this href for the link, and we have to set a direction for the link to go. For the moment, I'm going to have a hashtag. So the equivalent for the link of, so for an A tag, we have the href where we place the URL. For the links, we use to, and then we place the URL within it, or where we want to navigate within, or what components we want, what component within our application we want to navigate. But for now, I'm going to place a hashtag, and let's go through the rest of the A tags. Okay, here, switch that to link. For that link, the same thing here. Let me remove the href because we don't use that for links. Place to, place a hashtag there. We have 3 list tags here. We only need 2 for the moment. And for these 2 links, what I'm gonna do is, let me remove the span also. For the home, I'm going to replace it with sign up. And for the other list tag, I'm going to do sign in. And remove that link, that anchor tag, replace it with the link there. Okay. Link to. All right. Okay, save that. Okay, let's go back. I don't need this here, this window here. Let's refresh. Okay. Okay, header, nothing was returned from render. Okay. Well, we have our view here, right? Which is going to be the show navigation. Well, within this functional component, we need to use the return. And within here, the return is like the return is the render. It renders the view. So I'm gonna put a comment there, render, and I need to. I'm gonna bring in. Actually, I'm gonna within a header tag, just like that. I'm gonna do header ID, call it header, and within here, I'm going to bring in my view that we just created, show navigation. Okay, initialize it with the parentheses, and this should resolve it. See, compiled successfully. Let's go to our browser and check, and indeed, you see it right here. And now look, I'll show you that it's responsive. So right now, this is desktop view, but if I shrink the window, you see it collapses. You see the navigation. Now we got the hamburger menu. Oh, it's not working. Okay, I know what it is. Okay, remember remember when I went to Bootstrap, I brought in the CSS for the styles. But another thing that we have to do is we have to bring in the JS, the JavaScript code, to deal with the functionality. So let me go back to Bootstrap. Let's go Bootstrap. Where are we at? Bootstrap, getting started. Wait, hold on. Let me do Bootstrap for. Okay, so this was the link that we copied. We only copied the CSS right here, but if you right below it, we have our JSS, and we need that. Okay, that's why that hamburger menu wasn't working. So I'm gonna copy this to my clipboard and go back into my index.html, and right below our div tag with the ID of root, I'm gonna paste that in, save, and if we go back, I'm sure it's gonna work. So let's refresh, or it should have done it for us. This is desktop view. If we shrink it, we got our hamburger menu. Now if I press it, you see, now it's working. Okay, so we have our sign up and sign in, and we have a search bar. And right now, I'm not sure. Maybe as we go along in the project later on, I'll implement a search field. But for now, I'm going to remove it. So let me expand this. Let's go back to our code. We don't need this anymore. Close that. Where we at? Okay, yeah, in here. Okay, so that search field is from this form right here. So I'm gonna remove that. Save. Go back. You see, it's gone. Okay. Let me make sure. Collapse on a mobile screen. Yes. So now we have sign up and sign in. Let me do a few other things. See, right now we have an active field for one of the links. We don't need that for the moment. That's why you see one of these is the sign up is highlighted, but the other one's kind of faded out. Let me remove that for the moment. Where is it at? So that is right here. For the first list tag we have active. If I remove that, save the file, go back to the browser, now they're both the same, equally the same. Okay. Another thing I want to do is here for the links, for the navbar, that's going to be the logo. So let me switch up that name. It's going to be a placeholder, by the way. We're eventually going to have our logo there. But for now, just have a placeholder saying logo. It says logo. Okay. So now I want to have the sign up and sign in link, and I want to place them all the way here to the right hand side. In order to do that, I'm going to go here to the header.js, and let's see where we at. Okay, within our unordered list tag, we have this mr-auto. That means margin right auto, and that's pushing those links over to the left hand side. What I want to do is I want to change that, remove that R and turn that into an L. That's going to signify margin left dash auto. Okay, that's going to push our navigation links to the right hand side, and I'll show you. You see, it's to the right. All right, guys, so that's it for now. We'll continue on in the next video.